And thus, it is the dawn of the very first day. Our first chapter. Our first step in the right direction. Man, I'm more than excited to get started on this. Hey there, people of the internet world, let's get back to welcome back to more Let's Play Valkyrie Profile. So last time we managed to actually explore and defeat this whole first dungeon here. So you're probably looking at this and just thinking, well, what do we do now? Can we just go ahead and just do things? Well, yes we can. But the only way to do things is to do spiritual concentration, which I hope you guys remember to do that, because I didn't. I remember playing this for the first time, and that didn't happen. So, yeah, another day of me being silly for the first time playing this. Alright, so on the world map here, you actually have the ability to transfer in your menu now, which you transfer up to 2 heroes. It says up to two heroes, but honestly, you can get away with only transferring 1 single hero per chapter. And really, as long as it's really high hero value, like maybe 20-30 points higher than what the level recommendation is, like it's level 40 right now, so send somebody 70 or 80, you're good. Like, you don't need anything else. Like, you've overdone yourself. So there you go. But we can't send anybody that has a hero value less than anything else. If they don't have any hero value, we can't send them. And the only way they gain hero value is by upping their traits. And that's the whole point of these traits here. We have to raise their hero traits by doing this, basically. So, and the only way to actually get any capacity points for them to actually use them is to level them up. So this is why we're taking them to dungeons. And this is why we're, you know, just trying to handle this in that regard. So, there's that. Now, after that, I think that's really all that we can really do at the moment, other than just, maybe just, what is it? Explore a bit on things here and there, or like, until we unlock something, I guess. So, there you go. Now, you can probably just you can go around and explore and enter all these cities, whatever, but honestly, you'd probably be better off waiting until you unlock some characters, for one, before you visit them. And there are some towns and such that you probably don't want to visit at all, because reasons. We'll get to that as soon as we get there. But with that said, I think we're ready to get started on our very first spiritual concentration without Freya. So, let's see just how well Lenneth can do in finding the right Einherjar for the job.
Anything I say is only going to make her feel worse. No, that sound! I can't stand it! Stop it! Somebody stop it! I'll wait for you. I'll come here and think of this as our special place. I won't die. I'll come back to you.
Well, we're already starting on a cheaper note here, I guess. So, I guess our first new Einherjar is right here at Krell Montferrain. Montferrain. That's... is that how you pronounce that? Maybe it's a bit different than I'm thinking, but I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce it. But, I'll enter this question here real quick. You just press start, and you just have your special concentration. If you do that, you will use up to 2 periods here. So, there's that. Now, what was I going to mention? Visiting towns, visiting dungeons, and using your spiritual concentration does take periods. So, you kind of want to try and manage them. You can get through this. You will never have to worry about going at your period without, you know, reaching a limit, because they only give you a certain amount of character, a certain amount of dungeons, and etc. etc. So there you go. The other thing I was going to mention, if you press start again right now, right here to speak, it will just go ahead and go straight to the next dungeon as well. So you can keep pressing start, and you can keep unlocking all the characters, all the dungeons, and all that for the first chapter. You only get them, and you only complete them once you go through the dungeon and get visit towns and such, and you only use that much. If you don't have any more, it will just play music, and that'll be it. We'll show that up once we find out that. But let's go ahead and keep this as true to the nature of this game as we can. Use it only once, and we'll visit our first Einherjar that we're going to gain. Visiting Crel Montferrain. This kingdom controls most of the eastern continent. The citizens have been brainwashed into leading a self-righteous holy war against their neighbors. Hey neighbor, how you doing? Smack! So let's not waste any time. Let's go ahead and take a first visit and find ourselves our first new Einherjar. Other than Arngrim and Jelanda.
you certain about this?
What could I possibly say? There are no words.
If you believe that we cannot do anything for you humans, then you are mistaken.
Huh?
The death of a loved one. For they that remain, the wounds grow deeper and deeper. They that remain grow weaker and weaker, an agony incomparable, their hearts in bondage. Can you not see it? She has ceased to live, frozen in time. It is the same as if you had slain her with one of your arrows.
So what should I...
There is no need to pretend, simply do what you can. This is not my task. I am no goddess of love.
Now, I didn't talk in that one because I feel like I didn't have a good spot to really interject anywhere. But I wanted to say a couple of things. First off, for this Let's Play and such, I will be talking over it just a little bit here and there. I'm not going to try and interrupt the story when it tries to give it a story. No, I'm just going to, like, it'll keep the same story, it'll keep the same, atmosphere for what it's trying to give, and that's it. I just didn't talk there because I didn't feel like I had a good spot to come in and say anything. And as for this story here, losing someone that you love, I personally haven't truly, well, I suppose for a friend, a loved one, a family member, I have not experienced. For, say, a companion, a really, really close companion, one of my dogs we've had for 16 years, she passed away 2 years ago, and it kind of hurt, yes, but that's a dog. But it was still a companion, okay? I still felt the pain, and yeah. And I will say, dying is one thing. Having a loved one die, I say, is probably the worst feeling you could possibly feel. I don't really know what would be a good way to deal with it. I don't know if a good way to, like, I don't know if I can really truly understand that feeling of someone being close to you until it actually happens. I pray it never happens, but I feel I will never understand unless it happens. So, all I can truly say is that even though it's going to hurt so much that they're gone, that you'll never see them again, try to live for them. Try to continue on for them. Let them know that you will continue to try to live happily, to live on their name, to honor their wishes, and to respect them. Respect them by continuing to live so that you can continue life. They wouldn't want you to die in despair or to just live in despair. They would want you to continue to live as happy as you can. It won't be easy, but I feel it's what they would really want if they were to perish. Now with that said, we have ourselves our next party member here. And honestly, I'm going to spoil this now. This guy, Llewelyn. I have no idea how to pronounce this guy's name. I apologize for that. I apologize for that. And he has nothing on him. He has, like, nothing. I'm gonna give him a weapon. Actually, I don't think I have a weapon here. Oh, wow. Oh, where did all this come from? Holy cow! Where did all this come from? Oh, jeez. Let's give him the crossbow. We'll give him the crossbow just to help him get started. Yeah, just to help him get started. And he needs arm for armor, so gauntlet, thank you. Now, before we actually close this off, I'm going to just take a minute to just talk about a little bit about these characters here. How well they are, how good they are, etc., etc. So, Lennis Valkyrie being the one person you're going to use for probably for the entirety of the game, because she's the one that's going to be doing all this here. Len is a pretty good standard character. She actually, I want to show this off as well. I'm going to go ahead and grab another bow for reasons, and I'm going to show this off here. Oh yeah, I forgot to show this off here. Our third set of items will be our artifacts here. So, that's nice. Hit trust, attack trust 1, hit trust 30. Yeah, I'm not using that sword. Not at all. If it's weak against lightning, though, it'll cost instant death. So that's nice. I wonder if I'm actually going to run into that soon. Maybe. Well, I'll deal with that later. But, Lenneth here... I think Lenneth here is the only character in the game that can actually equip both swords and arrows. Because of the changed equipment, some setup skills haven't changed. She has a different set of skills now as well that are pretty useful. Her special, the magic power or whatever, that stays the same. It's just done a little bit differently compared to the sword. But personally, I really do like the bow if I'm gonna go for like more hits on the enemy, and it is important to have more hits on the enemy as well. So we'll focus on that as we get there. But now I'm gonna just keep her with the antler sword, just so she'll have something. Now back to what I was trying to say here. Lenneth, as the main character you're gonna be using, she's a pretty good standard swordsman. She's just a standard swordsman. Her attack, for the most part, I feel she's a very average character. Her attacks are pretty. Her attacks that she has are pretty standard. They hit pretty well, and they're good for all sized animals, all sized monsters you're gonna run into. Arngrim's probably the next person you're gonna be using for a while. He has plenty of strength, pretty decent speed. I think his defense is actually pretty good too, I believe. I'm not sure on that one. But Arngrim is your second swordsman. You're probably going to be using him for a very long time, since he'll never have the hero value. Unless you just flat out don't want to use him, you're going to have a couple of people in your party that are going to replace him. So there's that. Llewelyn, your first archer of the game, legit archer, is actually not that great an archer. Now, he's not a really great attacker, to be honest. He's probably like the weakest of the weak as far as archers, and him in general. Him in general is just he's very plain and kind of weak. So if anything, Llewelyn, I'm just gonna call him that, Llewelyn. If anyone else would correct me on that, go right ahead. I'm sorry, but Llewelyn is just another person to fill the spot until you find someone else to fill the spot for him. So we will show him off for the first dungeon, but after that, I'm just gonna train him up a little bit, and once I do, I'm just gonna send him. He'll be my first person to send. You just need to send somebody that's 40 hero value and up, so that won't be hard to do. As for Jelanda, your first mage here. All the mages in this game, I believe, are practically the same, to be fair. It's kind of boring. Jelanda starts with Firestorm and Heal, so you already have a good offensive spell and a good supportive spell. So if you need anything to help you out get by, Jelanda's a very good start. She's just there's nothing really special about her though. There's nothing too special. She's just another mage. All the mages, really, the only thing different about them, they're all aesthetics, I believe. I believe that's really the only difference between all of the mages. So there you go. I just want to take a look here. Can't swim. Well, good to know. Yeah, we're gonna train Llewelyn up a little bit, just so that he'll have his hero value, and once it gets to level 40 and up, we'll go ahead and send him. They do raise their hero value naturally by leveling up, so that's another reason you want to train them as much as you can, just so that they'll catch up, they won't fall behind, etc., etc. Professor from Mating. I don't think we've seen these two. And Banish. Cures poison, faint, freeze, and paralysis. Doesn't cure stoned or cursed. So there you go, that's all the statuses, except for confused, or dazed and confused, whichever. That's also a thing. And as for the last list of items here, actually, looking at these here, some of these items have good, decent effects. Like here is your charge turn. Okay, that's what it is. Charge turn. Charge turn by 1. So if you equip this to Jelanda, she'll have her turn go by faster. Poison check, it'll be vulnerable to poison, and poison damage is resistant. Does that protect from damage, or does that add damage? I'm not fully sure on that one. I think it's only for weapons that it actually adds damage. I wonder actually. No, it could be for defense as well. We'll see, I guess. And as for these items, these are just, so, one thing I will mention is that Freya sometimes will have a specific thing that she wants from the Einherjar. Sometimes she wants one that's lucky, maybe one that has known about, some, what is it? Monsters, like the undead, demons, or whatever. She kind of wants those kind of things. So you go to your skill, and you can raise those kind of things. Like, you can raise your demon intelligence, undead intelligence, whatever. But there are sometimes you can just buy the items that will give you the intelligence that you need to understand them. So, this is what this one is for. It's for giving, like, these items here that will do special things for you, and then these items that will just help your Einherjar when you send them. So there's that. Now, I believe that's really all I really have to say for the first part here. My apologies for ranting for so long, but to make up for it, why don't we go ahead and just press start now, so that we can go ahead and take a look at our first dungeon. Or at least, find out which dungeon that we're going to face first. I'll mention this here as well. It's almost always save a person or recruit an Einherjar and dungeon. Recruit an Einherjar and dungeon. So that's all there is. Soul the catacombs. Alrighty then. Alright, so I guess we find our first actual dungeon after the Artolian ruins. The Soul the catacombs. I'll read that another time. Now, should I? You know what? I'm going to save that for next time. I want to go ahead and save everything else for next time. We've already been running quite a bit of a while as it is. So, we'll save it for the next time. So, I guess next time we're going to be exploring our next dungeon. So with that said, this is Gibatu. And until we do just that, explore a whole nother dungeon. Goodbye to you. Laters!